It helped me. The first time I went to the studio, I think I was 17 years old, and it was a guy that used to have like he did music or whatever. I rapped over the Anne Marie one thing. Oh my god, it was so it was so horrible. But I was happy because I recorded my first like thing. So it get me hypeness to buy all the Sycamore instrumentals, all the instrumental volume threes, and then sit there and just. So once I got that, I got my first taste of recording. It was off. I was off to the races.
Yeah, I'm gonna say recording your first track at 17 is still pretty big of an accomplishment, regardless to who you are, because that's like huge.
It is, but at the time I was living in Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn. You know, what I'm saying Fabulous is like New York. One thing, New York is that celebrities pop up anywhere. You don't have to be in a famous place for a celebrity to be at. You know what I'm saying? Like you go one part in Harlem, you can see Dipset. One time when I was incarcerated, Ja Rule was across from me, and Life Jennings was in the next cell. Like you, one thing about New York, you'll always see a famous dude, and it's like, man, recording that joint was good, but what happened that messed me up? I ended up moving to Tacoma, Washington at 19. So there was no music. It was a whole different sound, West Coast type of feel. So I could say for the first time in my life, I took a break. I got a job. Even though I wrote here and there, you know what I'm saying? I was still
But like,
writing.
so before you go to Washington, right? But you're in New York, right? Because that's 17, you make your first song, and 19, you go to Washington, right? So what's actually, are you like performing in that point? Are you putting out a bunch of stuff, or
No,
is it just like making things?
I'm it's all making. I'm all nothing but writing. That's the one thing I did, like through being homeless, through going through shelter systems, I'm having a child. Between the ages of 17 and 19, all I could do was write. And I knew I had a good ability because I kept on. It didn't matter. Any situation I was in or I wanted to talk about, I you know what I'm saying? I wrote it down. I wrote about it. Once I learned how to put it in um music form, I wanted to tell a story.
Right.
So between that, I was learning how to story tell, you could say.
And so what makes you decide to go to Washington?
Oh man, my sister's boyfriend was killed over a foul in a basketball court. We was all in the park when it happened. Got killed over a foul, and my mother got to the point where she was like, this is too much for us over here." So she moved first to Washington State. That's that's a big jump from Brooklyn, New York, all the way to Washington State. Um, and me and my brother stood back for a little bit. We tried to thug it out on our home, but the landlord wasn't agreeing with us, and so me and my brother end up packing up and heading to Washington State. Mind you, we took a bus there. So
How long of a
yeah,
bus ride is that? That sounds long.
3 days.
Fuck me.
3 days, 22 freaking cities.
That must have not been the funnest bus ride in a pre like internet on your cell phone times.
So, to be honest with you, it was actually great because I met people on that bus, and which was weird. Met people on the bus who either sung or did music. So not all the bus rides was quiet. Like a lot of bus rides where people was talking and well, I guess just communicating with each other. And it was All-Star Weekend too. So that's why a lot of young people was on the bus because it was All-Star Weekend when we left. But I got to meet a couple of people who was helping me on music and teaching me a couple of things. You'd be surprised what you learn on a 3 day bus trip, 22 cities, meeting all different types of people. But by the time I got to Seattle, I had
You just made the most compelling argument to take a 3-day bus trip I've ever heard a human make.
oh listen, yo, at that time, the hottest cell phone out with the Sidekicks LGs. Leave. at that time, I know I sound crazy old, but
I'm
yeah,
fat.
it was.
I'm there with you.
I could tell you, man. Like you would have thought that bus ride without no internet, no video game would have been hell, but it wasn't. But listen, without no cell phones, without no video games, we gotta come. You have nothing else to do but communicate, and I think that's what we feel at now because we have all these devices, and we always doing this, but we don't actually communicate face to face.
Yeah, I feel that.
So the last day before I got to Seattle, I was talking to this guy who played the guitar, and I asked him, and I always remember this. I asked him, I said, "Yo, like, what give you the confidence to, you know?" He was like, "Listen, I write about my life, whether you like it or not. You know what I'm saying? It's my life. Everybody goes through the same thing. We just go through it differently, different areas, different things, but we all go through the same thing. Why is my song not relatable?" He said, "A song that you got to make a song about your life, but you have to make it towards it's relatable to everybody." He said, "That's why a lot of people a lot of people went through the struggle, or a lot of people went through this. You got to tell your story, but you got to tell it your way. You know what I'm saying? And you just got to make it to where people could hear it." And that was like the best advice I got from anyone. And he got off in, let me not, wow, what was the stop before Seattle? Was it, he was somewhere up there.
Like, trust, I don't even know anything about the States, so we good. I just know it's over there.
This is somewhere, I think it was Dakota, North Dakota. I'm pretty sure North Dakota where we dropped because the bus station was some store and there was nothing but desert all around. And, yo, it was crazy. But he gave me the best advice, man. Just write about your life. And like everybody goes through the same thing you go through. You know what I'm saying? It might not be drugs and games, but everybody goes through. Everybody has loves. Everybody has loss. Everybody has gains. Everybody has faith. Everybody has upbringings. Everybody has downcomings. You know what I'm saying? Everybody has it. You just got to make it to where everybody can hear it. And once he told me that, I looked at writing differently. Like if I'm gonna tell you something, I'm gonna tell you a story. But I'm gonna tell you a story about me. But I'm gonna tell you something that's something you can be like, because the one thing that was still in me is old school music.
Right.
I grew up off it. I still listen to it now. 2001, you can still hear me playing Luther Vandross or Jodeci or whatever. Because it's like, I don't know. I'm not saying music is whack now. I'm not saying music is whack now. But music back then meant something different. That is what is missing.
I think what really changed on that one, because I have this conversation a lot, and a lot of people say that, is that pop music changed drastically. And back in the day, the streets, in a sense, controlled sales. So people were drawn to substance. Thus, if you look at the charts as a measure of popularity and sales rather than anything else, not like what people like, but just those two metrics, back in the day, the charts were a better reflection of what people were putting their money behind. Gave us an idea of what was hot. Nowadays, man, I don't think Billboard counts for shit. But all I can tell you is if you want to look for substance, man, I did album reviews for like 4 years. Easy. I used to like follow what came out every week, and I used to stop doing like the Billboard people and start looking at the underground. Everything everybody wants gets made every day, but the problem is that none of these people are going to be Billboard stars, and that's the huge shift. It's that Billboard changed more than that music changed, and unfortunately our understanding of Billboard didn't evolve with Billboard's evolution. Or like the way you look at the Grammys, like now it's like, bro, everybody just knows it's who bribes it best wins type of thing. So it's like different, you know. Back in the day, you know, it was so like these things have shifted. So I'm like, it isn't that music like doesn't have substance, it's that pop music might not have substance right now.
That is, you're right on that one. You hit that one definitely on the money. Definitely. So
Yeah, no, I just think about it a bunch on that one topic. Comes up a whole lot. But with that, I hear what you're saying. And I like the part where it's also like that relatability element. I feel like sometimes people take the talk about your life thing a little bit like okay, like you're going to talk about your life, but like then you hear the story and the struggle and it doesn't like have any purpose or meaning to reflect your life. It's more like you focus too much on the generalization without enough on like I guess the wisdom extracted or something, right? Like, what did you get out of it? Like, what it like that's to me where like a personal song gets interesting.